What's up, guys? This is Johnny Chase here, and doing something a little bit different this time, as opposed to me filming in front of my webcam or my video camera, giving you my thoughts on a WWE pay-per-view. I decided to do everything audio and just run clips of some computer-on-computer simulated matches, all of which took place last night at Wrestlemania 30. Now, I'm going to spoil these matches for you right now. These are not the exact same result. Everything is reversed. So, just enjoy what the computer thinks should have happened at WrestleMania while I talk about the main show itself. Now, I'm just going to briefly go over the pre-show match. Was a Fatal 4-Way changed to an elimination match for the WWE Tag Team title. It was the Real Americans versus the Usos versus Ryback versus Los Matadores. The only notable thing that happened out of this was apparently Cesaro leaving the Real Americans, or Swaggerly Americans. Apparently everyone's internet crapped out during the match, so the only thing that they caught was the ending, with the Usos retained. Now, this will actually not go down on anything because, as I will explain later on, the pre-show does not matter. It's never mentioned, never referenced to anything. So let's get on with the main show. The main show opens with the host of WrestleMania, the immortal Hulk Hogan, the WWE Hall of Famer, cutting a promo and accidentally calling the arena the Silverdome. I think he's having flashbacks to WrestleMania 3. It's actually the Superdome, the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. While cutting the promo, out comes Stone Cold Steve Austin, putting each other over and talking about the new stars that are going to make their names tonight. And then The Rock comes out to a huge ovation. All three men are in the ring. The Rock spouting off that he's had great matches with both of them that have defined his career. And now it's time to watch the new superstars define their career and make their WrestleMania moments. And all three of them trade off their catchphrases. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, that's the bottom line, and what you gonna do, brother? And share a few beers in the ring. People are writing here, magic. Yeah, it was pretty magical seeing seeing these three guys in the ring at the same time. Kind of wish Austin would stun Hogan, but then again, both their knees and backs are all effed up and can't really do anything. And as predicted, the first match of the night is Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. Winner will be entered into the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match as a triple threat later on in the evening. It actually opens with Stephanie McMahon in the ring, wearing a very odd outfit, wearing a very short leather miniskirt, but still having a long sleeve, like, businessy jacket. Very, very odd choice. Puts over her husband, the King of Kings, the Cerebral Assassin, the COO, and the future World Heavyweight Champion, Triple H. Coming out in his gigantic Conan throne, and Shao Kahn was trending the whole night. And I can see why, because he had that skull mask, but it was very visible. He used it a few years prior in his second encounter with Undertaker at Mania, when he came out to For Whom the Bell Tolls. I'm actually kind of upset that Triple H didn't use another Metallica song to hype himself up. I really liked those. Also, there was three blonde women with masks that were kind of like a harem that were all around the throne. These were actually NXT superstars. One of them being Charlotte, the daughter of the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Sasha Banks, and I don't know the third one. I really need to watch more NXT. Daniel Bryan comes out to a huge ovation, and this is exactly what the WWE wants. They want a gigantic yes chant during the match and at the end of Mania. We'll get to that. All right, so this match was a great way to start off the show. Both men worked extremely hard. Both complemented each other's styles, and a few new submission moves coming out of Triple H that I wouldn't really expect. Well, not really the crossface, but after Benoit's death and a few years passed, everyone started doing the crossface. Of course, the winner of this match, Daniel Bryan, he will go on to face Randy Orton and Batista in the triple threat match for the world title. But not after his celebration. Stephanie gets in the ring and just starts slapping the shit out of Bryan, and he's just no-selling it, grinning like a that shit-eating grin as I write here. Triple H Pearl Harbors him and wraps his arm around the ring post and smashes it with a chair. Great storytelling here, saying, hey, Bryan is super injured now. We don't even think he'll be ready to compete. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, I wrote this down because the announcers said that this is Triple H's 18th WrestleMania appearance. 18. This is Bryan's third. And technically fourth, because he did fight Sheamus for the United States Championship in a pre-show. But then again, like I said, this pre-show don't matter. Moving on, we go into a really quick match. The Shield versus Kane and the New Age Outlaws. Where Road Dogg tries to get in his, you didn't know entrance speech, which he hasn't done in a while. And for some reason can't put ass in there. So Shield interrupts it with their entrance. They get over like $1 million and they just run ruckshaw over Kane and the New Age Outlaws. This is a super quick match, a super squash. Reigns hits everyone with a spear. They put the Outlaws on both of Reigns' shoulders, and for a double 3-man powerbomb, 1, 2, 3, the Shield goes over. Surprisingly enough, nobody in the Shield goes heel. Nobody abandons their team, and they're going to keep them together for a little bit longer. Possibly at SummerSlam we'll see a breakup. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Up next is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Big Show and Sheamus are the only two superstars to get on-screen entrances. Everyone else is already in the ring. A lot of people get eliminated doesn't really matter. Yoshitatsu goes right out. Everyone, now normally after Mania, there's this thing called Black Friday, or WWE Black Friday, where everyone must go. I am predicting that Yoshitatsu will be one of these names of people that will get released in the next few weeks. He really doesn't do much. So we're just going through all these names here. It really doesn't matter. The only good spots were Fandango dancing after he gives an enziguri to Big E to eliminate him. The crowd starts fandangoing, singing his theme song. But then again, WWE will just kill this the next night anyway, because they want him to be over, but they don't want him to be that over. Alright, so we have the final four was Alberto Del Rio, Sheamus, Big Show, and Antonio Cesaro. Before we get to that though, Kofi Kingston had a nice spot where Cesaro would throw him over the top rope, over the post, and he would hit the ground hard, but his feet would still stay on the ring steps, so he wasn't eliminated. He just went right back in. WWE, please just give this guy one Battle Royal or Royal Rumble win. He's your spot monkey to show all the cool ways that he can stay in the match and not get eliminated, but then get eliminated later on. It's not working anymore. You either give him a win or just wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors. That's all I'm saying. Before he got eliminated, though, Cesaro gave him a gigantic Cesaro swing. I think there was about 30 rotations on that. So the final two, after Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus eliminate themselves after reversing a cross arm breaker, Cesaro fights off the Big Show with a flurry of uppercuts. Cesaro scoop slams the Big Show and throws him over the ropes in a gigantic feat of strength and wins it to a huge pop. And mad props to Big Show, giving him congratulations and a handshake as he walks off. And Cesaro is the winner of that gigantic trophy that he'll unfortunately have to start carrying for 2 months until somebody breaks the damn thing. I just hope they just let him just take it home and let's have him move on. Now that I need unconfirmed reports, but since he's broken up with the Real Americans, he's on his own. I think it's time for some type of championship push. I don't think he's going to win, but maybe after. We'll talk to that at the end. Up next, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt in a. Honestly, this is a slow going match, but it was designed that way. This was a storytelling match, and I think they all told it. And if you told me Bray Wyatt, Husky Harris could pull this gimmick off when it first started, I wouldn't have believed it. I thought it was going to be relegated as a joke, but my God, he has taken this gimmick and running with it and doing so well. Yeah, actually, another note I wrote here is that they play him to the ring. There's a band that plays him to the ring, all wearing creepy masks, and one guy's dressed up to look like Baron Saddami from Live and Let Die, because they're in New Orleans. Get that voodoo stuff. Interesting opening with a voodoo dancer with fire and all that. That was pretty cool. Lot of visual, or not a lot of visual, but a lot of speeches, a lot of dialogue being traded back and forth. Like, Bray's giving him a steel chair, or he's not even wanting to lock up. He's just down on his knees, just like, do what you must do, destroy me. It's like, let your evil side come out. Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you. It's basically, he was Emperor Palpatine, just going like, good. Cena would have like these moments of fits of rage that he would take out on Ronan and Harper instead. And my God, I loved the crowd on this. Because I guess Bray's got this thing now where he starts singing, he's got the whole world in his hand. And the crowd is just waving back and forth, singing along. And everyone's like, oh my God, I think he's hypnotized the crowd. I was like, nah, crowd's just having a good time. Of course, Cena goes over, but man, puts over Bray like $1 million in this match. This was a really good. I'm reading results here because I can't remember everything that happened last night, because I did watch it on a replay, and it was about 4 a.m. by the time I got to bed. They say Bray Wyatt stole the show with his theatrics and mannerisms. And it goes to show you that you don't need to do a million gazillion moves to get over. You just have to be a good showman, a good entertainer. And Bray Wyatt's a good entertainer and a half-decent wrestler at that. So everything's working out for him. I'm interested to see where the Wyatt family goes from here. Up next is the match heard around the internet. The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman on his side. The Streak versus the Beast. Words cannot describe the feeling in the arena and across the internet after what happened. Taker gets in a few good shots in the beginning, but after that, it's all Brock. And after a couple of finishing moves from the Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, in between, hits Kimura and F5s, 3 F5s to 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, the streak is over. I've been hearing a lot of people bitching on the internet saying the streak should never end. It shouldn't have been Brock. I can't believe this has happened. Worst WrestleMania ever. Let me give you my thoughts. Do I agree Brock Lesnar should have been the one to end the streak? I don't know. Who is that one person that is destined to break the streak? There can't be. Now, the thing is, WWE and a lot of the IWC, Internet Wrestling Community, have been saying that they've gone stale. It's too predictable. It's too safe. When they finally do something to legitimately shock you, you shit all over it. Hypocrites. I was legitimately shocked myself when I was reading the results. I was trying to stay on social media blackout because I thought I was going to get off early to go see Wrestlemania at home. And I just said, F it, I'm going to start reading stuff and we'll see what happens. The amount of tweets and Facebook posts that I saw, incredible. I had friends on Twitter who were going, what just happened? And I had to respond to them and say, the streak is over. Undertaker just lost for the first time at WrestleMania in 22 matches. Now, reports are coming in that Undertaker suffered some type of a concussion after a single leg move, and that's why he was a little bit messed up. But apparently the ending of the match went exactly as planned. Brock Lesnar was meant to go over. I understand this too. This is Undertaker's decision. He can choose who beats the streak. Now, there's a little bit of backstage rumblings that Lesnar and Taker didn't really get along all that much. I mean, there's his infamous interview after a UFC event a few years back with a reporter talking to Taker about the heavyweight bout that just happened. With Brock walking by, they kind of had a little face-off, and he's just like, yeah, keep walking, keep walking. And the interviewer's like, what was that all about? And he's like, oh, that's just stuff that happened back in WWE. So, yeah, the streak's over, and unfortunate to say, so is the career of the dead man. He gets a standing ovation as he walks back up the aisle. This will probably be the last we see of Undertaker before his inevitable induction into the Hall of Fame. Speaking of which, I actually passed over the Hall of Fame because it wasn't on these notes. They recap the Hall of Fame as every year, the great speeches. They didn't show any of Mr. T's because apparently the only good clip they got of him was like, I'm so happy to be inducted into the Hall of Fame 2014. And then he went off for a diatribe of 20 minutes. It's like, my mother took care of me. My mother did this. Be good to your mother. Treat her right. Go drink your milk. Don't do drugs, kids. Because apparently Kane had to come out and cut him off and just be like, it's Paul Bearer's time. So we get everyone coming out, and then the music hits, and out comes the Ultimate Warrior. And the Fink does all the announcing and gives me goosebumps because Howard Finkel just has that perfect voice for ring announcing. Now, the only thing that I kind of went, was Warrior didn't come out in face paint and do the Although at the induction ceremony, he did give a skronk. He did went. So I'll mark out to that when I watch the whole Hall of Fame. Next up is probably the worst match you could book after Brock Lesnar Undertaker. The Vicky Guerrero Divas Championship Invitational. Every current WWE Diva on the roster in this match. One fall to a finish. Wow, this was a cluster until people started getting eliminated. Not even the crowd, the announcers, nobody cared about this match because everyone was still in shock that Undertaker lost. Let's see here. I'm trying to remember all the high spots. Eva Marie does something to Tamina, like stops a pinfall and then just like stares at her. I'm like, the fuck are you doing? Do something, you waste of space. Why couldn't they send her back to developmental with JoJo? Oh, that's right, because she's the hot redhead that is pushing ratings for Total Divas. Let's see here. Surprisingly enough, there's a Tower of Doom spot with Naomi, Natalya, and I think it was Tamina. I had to explain it to my fiance what a Tower of Doom spot is. Basically, Tower of Doom is someone trying to go for a superplex on the top rope, but a third person goes underneath the middle person to do a power bomb. So that does that. Everyone gets pulled up to the outside while they're fighting. AJ comes in and catches Naomi in the Black Widow and makes her tap out. AJ Lee retains her title and continues the longest reign of a Divas champion. And they say, interesting note, this is the first time the Divas title has been defended at WrestleMania since they unified that in the women's title. I can believe that. And now, finally, we are into the main event of the night. Daniel Bryan versus Batista versus Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Pointing out that this is a triple threat, so there are no disqualifications and no countouts. So everyone's working on Daniel's shoulder, rightfully so. Midway through the match, Stephanie Triple H run out to ringside. Triple H pulls the referee out, and Scott Armstrong, which had still been employed with WWE, you've seen him in matches throughout the year because they kind of abandoned the whole storyline midway for other stuff. And they immediately remember that that's that crooked ref that screwed over Daniel Bryan the first or second time. So he goes in, Batista hits a Batista bomb, 1, 2, Bryan kicks out, and Triple H is freaking out. He's like, why didn't you count the 3? And he's like, well, you legitimately kicked out. I can't do that. He's like, count faster. He goes to check on Bryan. Bryan kicks Scott Armstrong to the outside, does a suicide dive to take everyone out, including Stephanie. Stephanie's hurt. Triple H gets pissed and starts to grab the sledgehammer. But Bryan counters it and hits Triple H with it. Everyone else is helped outside. And my God, this next spot, they rip off both announce tables, and Batista and Orton kind of look at each other and kind of get on the same page. Let's get rid of Bryan, and then you and I go at it. Batista goes for a Batista bomb, and Orton hits an RKO in midair, mid-Batista bomb, through the table. Interesting note on this. When these spots happen, they take the television monitors away so that they don't hurt themselves. I think one of them fell through the table and Orton didn't realize it, because when the table collapsed, you saw Orton land directly spine first onto that. Actually cut him open a little bit. There was visible blood, which got from the crowd. So ENTs come out to help Bryan away, and Batista and Orton start going at it. But Daniel Bryan, ever resilient, gets off the stretcher, takes the neck brace off, and goes back at it. And then comes the finish of the match. Everyone trying to hit their finishing moves. Bryan putting in the yes lock on everyone. See here. Batista hits up for his Batista bomb. Hits it, but Bryan knees him in the face, and Bryan rolls through and makes Batista tap out to the yes lock for the win. Your winner and new World Heavyweight Champion, Daniel Bryan. This was the way that you ended WrestleMania. Like I said, it's no good if the face goes over, or the heel goes over. Sorry, the face has to go over. He's gone over insurmountable odds, and Daniel Bryan now has the title, hopefully for at least 3 months. I can predict maybe that Triple H will come out and say, you put your hands on a referee, you put your hands on my wife, you put your hands on me in a non-sanctioned match, I'm stripping you of the belt, and then you hear, no chance, and out comes Vince McMahon to kind of, steer Triple H clear of everything. Because this might be a return of Vince McMahon full-time WWE. We'll have to wait and see. A lot of people are asking who were the girls that came in with for Daniel Bryan. That was actually his sister and his little niece to celebrate. And everyone's asking, where was Brie Bella? And she was probably watching a monitor out back and told not to go out because they needed to film shit for Total Divas. So, yeah, I had to write down and make this point. This match was eerily similar to 10 years ago at WrestleMania 20 with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Benoit. With Benoit in the place, or with Daniel Bryan in the place of Benoit, and Orton and Batista in the place of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. where they were best buddies in a faction. They had broken up, and now they were feuding with each other. And Daniel Bryan was the third guy in there. Even with like the spot with the table, because Triple H and Shawn Michaels put Benoit through a table that seemingly took him out. He didn't get taken out in a stretcher, but he still was taken out to the point that you didn't think he was going to win. I hear a lot of people saying, because of Taker, this is the worst Mania ever. I wouldn't say it's the worst Mania ever. There's certainly plenty of other bad Manias. Now, this is not the old school me, but I mean, if you go back and try to watch WrestleMania 2, it's really hard to watch with all those arena shifts. WrestleMania 4, where it was just like tournament matches and then like 3-minute jobber matches. I actually thought the pace of this Mania was really good. You had nice long matches. They told great stories. And everyone enjoyed themselves. Everyone had a good time. I thought this was a pretty good Mania. And I'm interested to see where we go from here. And that's the question of the day. Where do we go from here? This WrestleMania is the New Year's Eve or the season finale of their television show, if you will, where everything starts fresh and they get new people in. Tonight is the Raw after Mania, where the crowd is hot from the night before. They will boo or cheer and be super loud and super drunk. Maybe they'll start a new meme. I mean, this is the day for new catchphrases and memes. I mean, we had the yes chants from a few years back. We had Fandangoing, which pretty much got squashed. We'll see if that comes back. And this is also the debut of new superstars. Perhaps they'll bring up some guys from NXT. Maybe Sami Zayn will finally get a spot on the main roster. Maybe Paige will finally get a spot on the main roster to challenge AJ. And there is also the rumor of Sting finally being signed. However, he was supposed to go for only one match at next year's Mania, rumored to be against Taker, but as you saw last night, that's probably not going to happen. But I do hope that Sting will, have the Goldberg thing where he'll have one good year, put some young guys over, get inside some WWE footage, and talk about his career pre-TNA. He's never going to talk about TNA unless Vince calls up Dixie and be like, I would like to buy your video library because you obviously have no idea what you're doing. So yeah, that's Mania. I thought it was pretty good. I don't think it was the worst Mania ever just because one guy lost one match out of 22. If you saw Taker, it was his time. I'm surprised that the guy's only 49 years old. I honestly thought he was older. But it is his time to walk out in the sunset, and he's walking out on his terms. I mean, he probably should have walked out after Hell in the Cell with Shawn and Triple H. But I used the Krusty the Clown quote. He rolled up with a truckload of cash. I'm not made of stone. He walked up, this time he walked up with a truckload of cash and a bottle of Just for Men. Okay, Vince, leave Taker alone. Let his hair go gray. Let him sit at home with Michelle and the kids. And let him have an enjoyable retirement. Let him work on some bikes. Let him buy some new bikes. Let him buy a motorcycle shop. Undertaker's Harleys. That'd be a pretty good idea, right? Anyways, guys, I've been Johnny Chase. These are my thoughts on WrestleMania. You all have a good one, and I'll see you next time.